Welcome to the Righteous Kitchen. Today I'll be making chicken tortilla soup because I had a craving. My recipe starts with the stock that I made from a rotisserie chicken, but you don't have to. You can use a pre-made stock or bouillon. I am going to make a chicken stock using rotisserie chicken. For the chicken stock, I just have the fat, the skin, and the bones, all the discard, as well as the broth at the bottom of the rotisserie chicken container. To that, I am going to add 1 liter of cold water and 3 chicken bouillon cubes for extra flavor. I'll let this come to a boil in the slow cooker and let it simmer for a few hours. What I'm going to do is just get these large bones and fat out of here. Now I can pour the stock with less splatter. I'm going to refrigerate this and let the fat come up to the top and solidify. I am going to start the chicken tortilla soup recipe by making one of the toppings, and that is fried corn tortilla strips. So I have several corn tortillas stacked. I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to slice them into ribbons. I'll have a draining rack off to the side and righteous seasoning. Another great seasoning for these chips would be tahini. You get that nice lime flavor that would go perfect with this soup. I'll work out of this electric skillet so you can see what's going on. I'm just going to shallow fry these in some cooking oil, and I'm going to heat this to 350 degrees. I'm going to test the oil with 1 strip, and it is bubbling. So now I know that the oil is hot enough to fry these chips. You want them fried golden and crispy. I let them drain on a rack. Sprinkle them with the seasoning while they're nice and hot. The tortilla strips are fried, they're seasoned. I am just going to put them in this bowl and set them off to the side. In the meantime, I can get started on the soup base for this recipe. I am going to dice up a large onion and 2 jalapenos, stems and seeds removed. I'll give these jalapenos a quick dice. Then I just put them right in with the onions. Continue chopping them together. I am going to divide this. Half will be for the soup and half will be a topping. We'll set this off to the side. For the topping, I'm going to add cilantro to the onion and jalapeno. All right, that's nice. That's one topping option. I also like to use fresh lime. I'm going to put some lime into the soup, but I'm also going to have some lime slices to serve with the soup. While we're prepping the ingredients for the soup, it's a good time to prep your toppings. For the soup, I only use half of a lime. Set that off to the side. The next thing I need to prep for the soup is Roma tomatoes. Just cut out the inside. That removes all the seed, then dice. So there's the tomatoes. I think that's about all the chopping that I need to do. I'll be using dried peppers for my soup base, 1 pasilla. And this is the same pepper combination that I use in my pork and my beef consomme. I really like it, so I'm just incorporating it where I can. The same combination. Chili arbol, 6 of these. These are spicy, but we can tone that down later by using tahini. I'm using 1 guajillo and 2 California chilies. I'm going to use the scissors to cut the stems and remove the seeds. That's it for the peppers. They've been de-seeded and de-stemmed. All right, I have my soup ingredients, the dried chilies, the onion and jalapeno, the diced tomatoes, the lime juice. Over here, I have roasted garlic in olive oil. That takes care of that. And then I'll just add some spices. For the toppings, I have fresh lime wedges and diced onion, jalapeno, and cilantro. I'll go ahead and refrigerate this. I am using this skillet, the same skillet that I fried those tortilla chips in, and wipe it with paper towel. This is the homemade chicken stock that I made using the rotisserie chicken. I am using an electric skillet. It's quite large, but you would use a Dutch oven or even a crock pot. If I'm doing it in the crock pot, I still like to saute my vegetables. I am using the chicken fat. It's oil and it has flavor. My skillet's on medium high, and in are going the onions and the jalapeno. And I just want to saute, so I'm going to kick back the heat a little bit. These don't need to be brown, they just need to be softened. I am going to add water to bring that up to the 1 quart mark. Once the onions have softened, the diced tomatoes go in. And I'm going to add about 6 roasted garlic. And I'm just going to mash them into the pan here. Now's a good time to add the spices. I've got righteous seasoning, I've got cumin, garlic salt, and oregano. I am going to turn this off for right now because I need to get the blender going. I'm going to add the dried chilies to the blender, and I'll stir up this stock. It's cold right now. We'll do half of the stock. This blender has a really nice soup function. It will blend and cook these chili peppers. So we just add the blender. You just hit the soup function and press play. I wasn't gonna do it, but I am going to go ahead and add all that sauteed vegetables to this. I want to go for less of a chunky look. And I'll add just a little more broth. Back to the soup and play. I love this Vitamix, I tell you, it's great. I don't know if you can see that steam coming out of there, but it's hot, very hot. And you don't have to blend up all the ingredients. I do it mainly for those chilies, but like I said, I wanted a thinner, not so chunky of a soup. Carefully get this off of here. Lots of steam, very hot. Remember, this is a soup function, so it heats up everything to a piping hot soup temperature. I'm going to pour this into the crock pot. I want to get all that in there. I'm using the rest of my chicken stock to go in here and clean up this picture. I want to get all that chili out of there. Got all that chili out of the lid. So here's the soup base. I'm going to add the lime juice. I already know this is a little spicy. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of tahini. That's going to knock that heat level down. I want to taste it right now and see if that chicken stock is coming through. That still has some heat to it. I'm going to put just a little more tahini. And I'm going to add 2 Tones chicken bouillon cubes. I'm going to add about 1 cup of water. This goes on the slow cooker, high heat, and I'm gonna bring it to a boil, and then I'm gonna let it simmer just for about a half an hour or so. I am on the last stretch of this homemade chicken tortilla soup, and it's time to add the last of the ingredients, being chicken, corn, and black beans. I'm using canned black beans that have been drained and rinsed very well. I have some frozen corn. We actually grew this in the garden, so it's a nice time to get that nice fresh corn into the soup. And then for the chicken, I am using rotisserie chicken. So I'm using 2 chicken breasts, and I am just going to chop the chicken. You can also shred this. I don't really like shredded chicken. I like to see the chunks of meat. My soup has been simmering away on the slow cooker, and I'm carefully going to add this chicken. I'm going to add the corn and the black beans. At this point, it just needs to heat through. Everything is cooked. I just want to warm up the chicken and the beans and corn. The chicken tortilla soup is done. And this is what it looks like. Now, before I dish this up, I do want to see how much this batch made. 2 1/4 quarts is what that recipe yields. All right, I am going to go ahead and dish this up. The onion, jalapeno, and cilantro. Put a big scoop of that right in the middle. And a nice handful of the fried corn tortilla strips on top. Just put the lime on top of that. And there it is, chicken tortilla soup. I am going to try mine without the corn. The fried tortilla chips, the onion mix, a fresh squeeze of lime. Look at that. That still has a little kick to it for me. So I'm going to bring that down with some more tahini. Ooh. There it is. That's nice. That first bite got me choked up a little bit. See that nice chunk of chicken? I like that over the shred. Much better. That's delicious. It's nice and bright with that onion, cilantro, and lime. It's warm and satisfying with the chili. This is perfect for a cold, rainy day. Very good. Please follow The Righteous Kitchen at blogspot.com and across social media.